My mic wasn't even on. Right, okay. Let's restart then. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing another live stream, as you can tell. Apologies if the lighting's a bit shit. I just said that, but my mic wasn't on. And, yeah, today, well, we're going to be starting off with talking about the today we're going to be talking about the potential of Will Fish re-signing when Manchester United were up in Edinburgh playing against Lyon on Wednesday. We are going to be chatting about Dylan Levitt and all the new summer signings that have come in, including then Jojo Wallacott, Max Borwick, Jordan Abita, Adam Lafondra. We will be talking about the games that we saw in Marbella. We will be looking ahead to the game against Groningen next week on Friday, which there may or may not be a match vlog for. I've not decided yet. And we will be looking at, if the season was to start today, what would our best 11 be? Obviously, that wouldn't include Will Fish because he's not officially signed as a Hibs player for the new season yet. Which would also be quite interesting given the suspension of Rocky for the first couple of games of the season. But we'll go into that further towards the end of the stream. So to start with, I'm gonna wait for people to come into the stream. Gonna see if people are gonna come in, and if no one's gonna come in, then can we get Hibs? Just getting a few things loaded up. Getting a few things loaded. Okay. There we go. Hibernian FC. Get that up as well. Hibernian. There we go. So if we head over to this and under here, it's the Hibs website. Actually, tickets for the Europa Conference League second round qualifier at Eastwood are now on sale. I have my tickets in the famous 5. We will firstly be going over here for Will Fish. Obviously, Will Fish agrees to loan as Manchester United say yes. So yes to second spell for fan favourite. And this will be huge for Hibs, especially with the suspension of Rocky Bashiri for the start of the league, and for obviously still for the first League Cup game. He's still got a suspension to serve after that night against Morton last season, which obviously no one wants to talk about now. Nobody wants to think about that game against Greenock Morton last season. Did it happen? Did it officially happen? I don't actually know. Got to charge my phone there when I've got this. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so... Yeah. I mean, we all know how good Will Fish is. And I would be excited to see him in a Hib shirt again next season. And if we have a look at here, obviously, if we look at teams here, men's teams, the men's first team, if we go on here and we look at the centre halves that we have, it's just Hanlon and Bashiri. Obviously, we've got the two left backs of Obito and Stevenson, Miller and Cadden as the right backs in the first team. Obviously, Kanayo Megwa is going to be part of the first team this season as well, with the absence of Cadden through injury for at least the first half of the season. Obviously, Rocky's suspension we know all about, obviously, from last season in the League Cup, and his suspension for the first two league games following his involvement in the scenes full time at Tynecastle. So adding Fish to that would be really good, as well as then potentially if we look at the development squad. If we look at the development squad here, obviously Kanayo Megwa was there, and hopefully we'll be seeing some of these lads get some first team football this season. Kanayo Megwa certainly will. So like sort of Rudy Molotnikov, Jacob McIntyre. This isn't fully updated. Yeah. Ruben McAllister was obviously with the squad in Marbella. Yeah, there's some of these that aren't fully updated. Moving on then to the incomings, to all of the incomings and outgoings so far from Hibs this transfer window. If the transfer market wants to load for me, that would be great. Obviously then, if we look at arrivals first. Arrivals. Let's see this then. Obviously, Eliuan signed permanently. Again, you've got Dylan Levitt, Adam Lafondra, Jordan Obita, Max Boric, and Joe Wallacott. All good signings in their own right. Max Boric for the first goalie. Joe Wallacott will compete with David Marshall for the first team for the number 1 shirt. And obviously hoping to add Will Fish to this list next week, as well as hopefully another striker would be good for Hibs. I think another striker is crucial if we're to get anything, if we're to do anything big this season. Will Fish, maybe even another centre back, because as we saw earlier, if we go back to the first team here, it is only Hanlon and Rocky as centre halves on this list. And I'm not watching Lewis Miller or Lewis Stevenson play centre half this season. Obviously, Noah Kenner was utilised as a centre half during. Obviously, Kenner and Del Ferrier were both used as centre halves in the preseason games. Both against Edinburgh City and also the games in Marbella. which we will now go on to those games in Marbella. If we look at which was obviously that game against Europa FC and that game against Bournemouth, which is a bit annoying. The game against Europa, I did a watching for it, obviously. It was a very up and down stream. But hopefully, I'm hoping that I've been able to fix the problem with that now, which is good. Obviously, we had a very good first half in that game, going up 2-0 thanks to strikes from Jordan Obita, from Adam Lafondra, sorry, and Josh Campbell, who came on early for an injured Joe Newell, who would then miss out on that game against Bournemouth. The second half of the Europa game, however, was a bit of a scrappy affair. It wasn't a classic or anything like that. Obviously, I assume everyone watched the games. The Europa game and the Bournemouth game were both live on the Hibs YouTube channel, with co-commentary from first team players who were not taking part in the game. Obviously, the first game, Europa FC, co-commentary was Martin Boyle, and the Bournemouth game co-commentary was from Joe Newell, who I previously mentioned got picked up a knock in that first game against Europa that ruled him out of that game against Bournemouth. And also ruled out of that game against Bournemouth was Lewis Miller, Jordan Obita, and Ewan Henderson, I think. If we go to match report here, lineup. Oh, I clicked one too many times. Obviously, we lost 4-0 to Bournemouth. English Premier League sides, we lost 4-0. No big deal. 2 goals from Philip Billing, David Wicks and Jaden Anthony. Gave the English Premier League side 4 goals. For Hibs then, obviously we started with Wallacott, Hanlon, Levitt, Ewan, Jago, Stevenson, Lafondra, Melkson, Campbell, Bashiri, Megwa. That was the starting 11. Obviously subs that come on with Ophelia, Kenner, Dan Mackay, Doige. That's Jacob McIntyre, Ruben McAllister, Rudy Molotnikov, Jake Lyle Hayes and David Marshall. Yes. That makes sense. And obviously, with the 4 previously mentioned, who missed out. There we go, yeah. And that's, I think, all there really is to say. I mean, obviously, you can go and read the match report yourself on the Hibs website here. Dan Mackay did have the ball in the back of the net, but the offside flag was up, so no goal was given. Obviously, this game was played in 3 30-minute thirds, rather than the traditional 45-minute halves, so both teams could deal with the heat over in Spain. Moving on, then. Or not, because the deal was just... So, I mean, obviously watching the game, obviously it wasn't possible for me to do a watch along on the Thursday evening for various different reasons, which I'm not going to get into now. But we did have spells in the game that we looked alright. Obviously the first 15 minutes or so wasn't good. We went 2-0 down very quickly, which was not ideal, but it's what it is. It's an English Premier League side. I know we beat Arsenal a couple of years ago, but that was a very different Hibs team. And yeah. Yeah, and then we go on to play against FC Groningen at Easter Road on Friday evening. Kickoff is at 7:15 p.m. If anybody was thinking it was late, kickoff at 7:15 p.m. for the game against Groningen at Easter Road on Friday night. I will be there. All right, then we move on now to the lineups. If our season was to start tomorrow, who would start? Who would start? I think Jojo Wallacott starts in goals for me. Alright? Okay, Wallacott starts in goal. Left back. I love Lewis Stevenson, but I think Jordan Obita does start. Jordan Obita starts. And Lewis Stevenson. Stevenson. He starts. He's centre half though. Nohan Kenner. That's grim. If Nohan Kenner starts this in a half, that is grim. It is grim if Nohan Kenner starts this in a half. And I sincerely hope he doesn't start at centre half. Because I want Hibs to win football matches. But I think he probably would. Obviously with Rocky being suspended. Johan Kenner and Paul Hanlon. Paul Hanlon on the left, obviously, though. Johan Kenner on the right, Paul Hanlon on the left. Paul Hanlon. Alright, go Lewis Miller. Lewis Miller with Megwa. Canal Megwa's not on here. Okay, fine. Midfielders. Dylan Levitt. Joe Newell. Where's Joe Newell? There he is. And Josh Campbell. Midfielders wise, if we go back to if we look at teams, and if we look at our midfield options, right? We've got Dylan Levitt, Noah Kenner, I've got slotting in the centre half. Jake Doyle-Hayes, solid enough option in midfield. Joe Newell, Jimmy Jago, Ewan Henderson is not going to play. So it would be between. I'm not playing Newell, Levitt, and Doyle-Hayes though, so that's. You're between Campbell and Henderson, so you're going Campbell. Oops. Campbell. Josh Campbell. With sub options being Jago for Dylan Levitt, Doyle, Hayes, and Henderson. With your front three, are we saying Boyle's fit or not? The Fondra's up front. Deutsch would be Deutsch should be behind him. You'd have Yuan on the left, and assuming Boyle's not fit, you'd have Malcus in there. If the season was to start tomorrow, obviously McCurdy's injured. So then you'd got Dan Mackay as a backup option. First team player wise, then you'd have Dan Mackay. Is Daniel Mackay on the database? Is he not on the database? Is he not on the database there? No, he's not on the database. Dan Mackay's not on the database. I mean, obviously, if you're going for a fully fit team, you've got Boyle there. You've got Martin Boyle with Melkerson behind him. Assuming Boyle's fit, that would be the starting 11 for the first league game of the season. Assuming we're not... Based on players currently at the club, this would be my starting 11 for the first league game of the season. Obviously, Rockley's suspended. Paul Hanlon's only centre-half. So Nohan Kenner, I believe, probably would be the one to step in, given he's played there throughout pre-season. Jojo Walcott in goals. Lewis Miller, Nohan Kenner, Paul Hanlon and Jordan Obita. You might go Stevenson if you've got Ken, because of Kenner being in there. That might be the only you might go Stevenson for Obita. And if Boyle's not fit, you play Obita and Yuan as wingers. You play Yuan on the right with Obita on the left wing. Could maybe be a change that you would make there. If you want Jago in, if you want to just go full defensive, Jago in for Campbell maybe. Jakes or Hayes, Joe Newell, either or. I think, but actually, Joe Newell is imperative to this Hibs team. And, well, we noticed his absence against Bournemouth. Joe Newell has to play. So then you say like Joe Newell, no, not Joe Newell. You say Dylan Levitt or Jake Doyle Hayes then. I'm going to actually swap that round to Jago being there and Doyle Hayes being behind Levitt. I think that is more what would... So you've got Doyle Hayes or Levitt. I think that is fair. Dylan Levitt's obviously more defensive than Doyle Hayes. I think Jago's a similar must. Actually, I'm swapping those back round again. Because I think Joe Newell's not a defensive midfielder. Neither was Jake Doyle Hayes. I think that's probably what it would be. And assuming we don't sign a centre half or a striker before then, this would be my starting 11 for the first league game of the season. Jojo Wollacott, Lewis Miller, Noah McKenna, Paul Hanlon, Jordan Obita, Dylan Levitt, Joe Newell, Josh Campbell, Ellie Ewan, Adam Lafondra, and Martin Boyle. Obviously, this would be for the game against St Mirren on the 6th of August. So there is still plenty of time between now and then. Obviously, Will Fish likely to come in. So, Will Fish. So, Will Fish would be in there. And maybe a striker. But for now... But who we've got at the club, Noah McKenna, does come in there. And that would be my team for the first game of the season against St Mirren, based on who is at the football club today. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Make sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe if you've not already done so. Thank you for watching another one of my streams. I will be back for another one next week. Or I might do a match vlog for the Groningen game. Not yet decided. We'll keep you updated on the community tab and on Twitter. And until next time, leave a like on the stream if you've not yet done so. Subscribe if you are new to my channel.